I want to welcome you to a discussion on the media. In today's discussion, we will focus on two principal areas: the meaning and types of media. Other areas of the media, such as the functions of media and media censorship, we shall deal with them in other areas. Otherwise, for today, our focus is on the meaning and types of media. Remember, media is an important component in several disciplines, and that is why we need to have a look at it and see the relevance it has in this particular course. We want to begin by understanding the concept media. The term media, which is the plural of the term medium, refers to the communication channels through which news, music, movies, education, promotional messages, and other data are disseminated. But the concept or the term media can also be defined as a means of communication that disseminates information from the source to the target public, or what we generally call the audience. However, the concept of media might also be understood as an institution, and therefore, as an institution, media refers to the organization and dissemination of information, concepts, and ideas to a large audience. Mass media is also another aspect of the media, and it refers to the technologies that we use as channels for a small group of people to communicate with a large number of people, such as the radio, television, newspapers, among others. Media come in different forms, and therefore I want us to look at some of the types of media. The one type of media that is predominantly known is called print media. And by print media, it refers to the printed form of information and news, such as newspapers and magazines. Let's try to understand the difference between the two. That is, what's the newspaper and what's a magazine? A newspaper is a periodic publication that contains written information about current events. So the emphasis here is current events, so that any event that occurred earlier, unless there's certain aspect of it that was not known, and which, if presented today, might assume current event status, the focus of a newspaper is on issues that are happening currently. And it covers these events in several areas, such as sports, politics, technology, science, opinion columns, as well as weather forecasts. Most newspapers are businesses, and they pay their expenses with a mixture of subscription revenue, newsstand sales, as well as advertising revenues. When you talk about a magazine, it's about a publication that is done periodically and which is published on a given schedule. It could be on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, semi-annually, or annually. A newspaper contains a variety of content and it is financed by advertising, purchase of price, as well as prepaid subscriptions. Magazines can be paid circulation or non-paid circulations. The difference between the two is this. When it is paid circulation, it means people have to buy it for them to read it. When it's non-paid circulation, it means people can access them without necessarily buying them. In other words, non-paid circulation are magazines that are produced by certain organizations which want to publish certain issues for purposes of informing the general population. The other type of media is called electronic media. Electronic media may be defined as the distribution of audio and video content to a dispersed audience using electronic means such as television, radio, movies, among others. Television, which sometimes we generally refer as TV, is a telecommunication medium for transmitting moving images and sound for advertising, entertainment, news, and sports. Radio is a technology of signaling and communicating information using electromagnetic waves, which are generated by an electronic device called a transmitter. Due to its high reach to the audience, radio is widely used for advertising products and services and remains one of the oldest means of entertainment and news distribution. Movies, on the other hand, refers to recorded sequence of film or video images which are displayed on a screen with sufficient rapidity as to create the illusion of motion and continuity. These may not be the only types of electronic media, but they're the major types of electronic media. So that when we talk about electronic media, we simply mean the channels that we use to submit information or communication electronically. There are quite many, but the most predominant are the television, radio, and movies. The other type of media is called the internet media. The internet today is a globally connected network system which facilitates worldwide communication and access to data resources through a vast collection of private, public, business, academic, and government networks. People rely on the internet to get the news a lot more often than the traditional news sources such as newspapers, television, and radio. Examples of internet media include social networks, online forums, and podcasts. Social media networks, some of them are Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, among others. When it comes to online forums, these are platforms where we comment, message, or discuss a particular topic, thereby allowing us to share knowledge with other people with the same areas of interest as ours. While podcasts are a series of audios that are focused on a particular topic or theme and can be listened to through computer or mobile phone, and they're also available on what we call podcast hosting sites. Today, the internet is a major component of communication in the world. It is one of the fastest growing type of media, especially among the younger generation that are adept at the emerging technology. The other type of media is called outdoor media. Outdoor media refers to any kind of media which is displayed outside and in public areas such as highways, bus stops, train stations, and other public spaces. And they include banners, billboards, brochures, flyers, among others. Banners are media which are easily noticed sites to attract people's attention and are meant to publicize services, products of individuals, institutions, and even companies. Billboards normally refer to huge advertisements erected on the highways and with the goal of attracting people who are passing by, while brochures are small booklets which contains information about an institution or company, such as the products they offer, the services they offer, how you can reach them in terms of contact details, such as address, post office box, among others. They are either distributed with the newspapers or they are handed over to people separately. Flyers are also another type of outdoor media, and they contain the basic information about a company or an institution, specifically the name of the company logo, the service or product they offer, and the contact information, and they are distributed in public areas. It is normally one single page. A brochure can have, again, one big page, but folded. So these are some of the types of outdoor media that that are quite often used and are quite common in society today. The last type of media is called transit media. And transit media is a type of media which mainly use public transport to display or convey information to the audience. The information can be displayed on buses, on vehicles, on cabs, on trains, or any other transportation mode that consumers use to travel from one destination to other. They may be classified into indoor transit and outdoor transit. Indoor transit are those that transmit information through the displays that are placed inside the vehicle, such as banners, posters, flexes, leaflets, and boards, but they are inside the vehicle. While outdoor transmit media are those that transmit information through the displays which are placed on the outer surface of the vehicle. Up to that point, we have looked at what is meant on the media and the types of media that are there. Our next discussion on this area will look at the functions of the media. We shall then conclude our discussion by looking at the justification, rather by looking at media censorship. Thank you so much for your time and for listening to me.